Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to a boutique label battle. I've done box set battles in the past, but now I'm going to do some boutique label battles. This is pretty much me justifying double dipping on Blu-ray releases of films and then pretending that I'm doing a public service by telling you how those two releases compare. A couple of years ago I did a three-way comparison of Cronenberg's Crash. That was a Criterion, the Arrow and a German media book. I'll maybe put that into a folder along with these battles as I go. But the first one is a film that was always on my holy grail list of getting a Blu-ray release, and then it finally got a Blu-ray release, and it's actually now got two Blu-ray releases, both by boutique labels. One a powerhouse and the other one a relative newcomer to the boutique label, and a label that I've dipped my toes in, and trying not to throw myself head first into the bottomless pool. So the film we're going to talk about is one of my favourite films of all time. It's in the argument for my top 10 favourite films, which of course has about 38 films in it. I'm maybe going to have to do a video on that at some point. It's one of Alan J. Pakula's Paranoid trilogy from the 70s. It's the one that was kind of forgotten about for a while the other two got more accolades, but I think looking back on it, for me at least, it's the best one out of three, one of the best American films of the 70s. It's the Parallax view with Warren Beatty. So we're going to talk about the Criterion release. This is region A, and it's spine number 1064. And then fairly recently, Imprint in Australia released the Parallax view, and they do spine numbers as well, so it's spine number 94. And I do like Imprint very much like Indicator. You can actually read the spine numbers, because one of my slight criticism of the Criterion collection is sometimes you can't actually read the spine numbers, depending on what colour they use and what colour print they use. So I'm just going to go through, because originally I wasn't going to buy the Imprint, and then I just couldn't help myself because, as we know, I do have 15 different editions of the thing. I do have a thing about the thing. I'm working through that. But I just couldn't help myself because I love the Parallax so much. But actually getting it and seeing the special features, it is an interesting comparison, because they are completely different. Now, Imprint, getting them imported, they are a little bit expensive, but as are Criterion Region A's, certainly for people in the UK. So it's just to give people an idea if they're looking to spend some money on which edition. Again, I'm pretending this is like a public information video, but it's actually me rationalising double dipping. The first thing is obviously the artwork. I do like the Criterion artwork, but the Imprint artwork is rather nice as well, full of questions that we never get the answers to, and that's part of the beauty of the Parallax view. Again, with Imprint, they do have different artwork. Again, they release standard editions, very much like Indicator, Powerhouse. They'll release a standard edition without the nice little slipcover, and that'll be the artwork. Now, obviously, a big difference is Criterion has a booklet. This is obviously the wonderful words from the Clockwork Orange-esque brainwashing video that we're kind of assaulted by, even though Warren Beatty, but it never cuts back to Warren Beatty, so it's we the audience that get assaulted with these. And it also has extracts from the lovely questionnaire that the Parallax Corporation gives prospective candidates, which obviously Warren Beatty's character gets a sociopath to answer for him. And again, there's an interview with Alan Pakula, who did tragically die in a car accident, which was quite disturbing. And there's an essay. So Criterion always have a lovely booklet, and Imprint do not have booklets. So if you're a fan of booklets, then obviously you're going to prefer the Criterion edition. Now, as far as the transfers, both are new 4K restorations, so there's no real difference in the picture quality. I'll go through the Criterion special features first. So there's an introduction by Alex Cox. Now, I think the first time I saw Parallax View, and I'm sure perhaps the first time quite a lot of people in the UK saw the Parallax View, was on Moviedrome, that ran in the late 80s, early 90s on BBC Two on a Sunday night. And Alex Cox would give wonderful little intros to the films. So there's an introduction by Alex Cox, who loves this film. There's an interview with director Alan Pakula from 1974 and 1995. And there's a new programme on cinematographer Gordon Willis, or the Prince of Darkness as his nickname was, or is. And that's an interview with him from 2004, and he talks about the time he almost thought he was going to get fired from the project. There's a new interview with John Borston, assistant to Pakula on the Parallax View. And like I say, in the booklet, excuse me, in the booklet there's an essay by Nathan Heller and a 1974 interview with Pakula. And as you'll notice, there's no commentary track on the Criterion. So I'll just let that information sit with you. I mean, also I was ecstatic when I realised, or when I heard that Criterion were releasing the Parallax View, because like I say, it was one of those films that for years I was hoping they'd get a Blu-ray release, and then two come along, well, not at the same time, but quite at the same time. So the Imprint special features, 4K restoration, as I say. There's an audio commentary from film historian Kevin Lyons from 2021. Now, Kevin Lyons usually does a double act with Kim Newman on commentary track sometimes. He also does double acts with Jonathan Rigby for Hammer Horrors and things like that. He does work for Indicator as well. But it's really a lot of fun to have Kevin Lyons doing one on his own. He gives lots of information about the actors, the technicians on the project, the stuntmen. He's very knowledgeable and is very appreciative of the stunt work in the film, which is impressive. Even if they did have a big net around the Space Needle in Seattle, the guy who fell off that still took some brave pills. So he goes into in depth about the actors. For example, I didn't realise Hume Cronin had a lavender wedding early on in his career. So he gives a lot of information, and he's rather funny as well while he's delivering it. Again, sometimes with Kim Newman and Kevin Lyons, they're sometimes talking over each other, trying to get their points across, in a nice way, obviously. So it's actually quite enjoyable hearing Kevin Lyons by himself. But not only do you get the commentary from Kevin Lyons, you also get a commentary by film critic, podcast producer Blake Howard, also from 2021. Again, I haven't listened to this audio track, but I will at some point. And then we get the man himself, Kim Newman, on the Parallax View and Conspiracy Thrillers from 2021. Again, if you're familiar with Kim Newman, it's him in his usual little den surrounded by his books. And he has a nice pile of little conspiracy thrillers behind him. So this is over 20 minutes, and it's wonderful, as you'd expect if you're a fan of Kim Newman, as he goes through, the Cold War, the films from the 50s, and then the progression. And not only that, we get Matthew Sweet on the Parallax View, also from 2021, and also over 20 minutes long. And again, that is about the political backdrop from the 50s to the 70s. Matthew Sweet's really good on the Studio Canal Vintage Classics line. He does some really good work on that, and he does some special features work on other labels as well. And then we get Witness to a Conspiracy, a video essay by Chris O'Neill from 2021. And again, Chris O'Neill does other work for other labels as well. And his video essays is generally scenes from the film and then with text up on the screen. And that's really good as well. And you also get a theatrical trailer. So it's actually surprising how different these two releases actually are. And if I'm being honest, I actually prefer the Imprint edition. And I'm so happy I actually picked it up, because getting Kim Newman and Matthew Sweet and Kevin Lyons is an absolute joy. All they needed was Kat Ellinger to do a commentary track, and then we'd all be sorted. It's a really good package. But I mean, Criterion was first to release it, so it's not as if I'm gonna get rid of my Criterion edition of Parallax View. The interview with Gordon Willis is very good. And again, you get the introduction by Alex Cox, which, if you're from the UK and of a certain age, and that always warms your cockles, getting a Cox introduction. But if this is a boutique label battle, then I would actually have to say that the young up-and-comer Imprint from Via Vision in Australia actually wins this battle, and I would recommend picking up the Imprint edition. Obviously, if you're not into special features and just want the film, then you probably won't be buying the physical copy anyway. But it is a lovely package and a lovely edition. But the Criterion's awesome as well, obviously. But seeing this as a fierce battle, 2 Blu-rays enter and only 1 comes out, even though I'll still be keeping the other one, I would actually say Imprint wins this boutique label battle. So thanks very much for watching. Obviously, because I have a problem sometimes double dipping films that I really love, there'll probably be more episodes of this series, who knows. But thanks very much for watching. Please let me know in the comments below which version of the Parallax View you have, or which one you might be tempted by, and hopefully you'll join me again for more videos. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell.